What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the Ruby Red X5 here. I need to get the back bumper off. I have some body work to do, and as well as I'm going to prep and get it ready for painting. Also, I'm going to install some of the trim that I have right here that I've already painted, and prep and paint the headlights so I can get those reassembled and installed on the vehicle. And if you could, guys, give me a like and subscribe. I really enjoy making this content for you, and it would mean a lot to me if you could do so. So let's get to it. Alright guys, just a couple T50 bolts that hold it on the back bumper, one on each side where the exhaust comes out. I don't have any exhaust on this car. I have to get it modified. I have to go take it to a muffler shop to have that taken care of, so it was really easy for me to get it out because I didn't have the exhaust in the way. So 2 bolts, comes off, it slides right off of there just like a typical BMW bumper does, so real easy to come off. Alright guys, here I'm taking off all the pieces, the trim pieces underneath the trunk hatch. I'm going to get the rear spoiler off at this point, so I'm just getting everything out of the way so I can get these bolts taken out so I can pop it off there. Alright guys, now I'm working on the lower hatch part. I'm getting the black trimming off of there that holds the reflective markers and the button. It's just a couple of Phillips head screws that hold it on. You gotta pop a couple pieces off and it pops right off of there. And then I'm taking off the back trimming so I can get the tail light pieces out of it so I can sand and paint everything without damaging anything with the sandpaper. Alright guys, I'm putting some tape on the edges here where I've already painted. I want to give it an extra protection while I'm sanding, just in case I do a little bit of a over sand and I don't nick the fresh paint job. You really want to be careful in protecting that work because you don't want to have to do that twice. At this point now I'm getting ready to sand. I've already got all my stuff ready to go, so I'm sanding it down, getting it smooth so I can prep it for paint. Alright guys, I moved the car out of the garage. I'm kind of limited on space, so I just brought it out so I could get everything else prepped and ready, like the bumper and trim pieces. And some of the trim pieces I've already painted, I'm putting them on right now, getting everything on this door. I wanted to make sure everything was fitting up right like it should, and how it looked on the car itself. One little tip I've learned from the years is when you're reinstalling trim and whatnot, especially the molding trim that goes inside there, like the rubber molding, I use a little bit of WD-40 or some type of lubrication. It really helps it slide down in there without jamming up, because trying to force that stuff down in there is a really big pain in the butt. So if you use something that's a little viscous, it really helps it out. Here I'm just using a panel trim popper tool just to get it pushed up in there. You really have to work with it to get it to slide up in there and get it lined up just right. Another tip I'd like to give, if you get overspray on your windows, which it happens sometimes, it's real easy to come off. Simple Windex and a straight razor blade scrapes it right off of there with no problem. Alright guys, I'm putting all the interior trims on. I've already checked to make sure the window rolls up and down properly, and it does. So I'm just putting this stuff on. Make sure you don't bend or break it, because stuff like this is not that easy to come by. So you gotta be really careful when you put this stuff on. Now I'm going to be putting on the door panel. Make sure all the connections are hooked up. Make sure the door handle is clipped in, and it just pops right on there. You just got 3 screws that hold it in place, and it goes in really easy. Alright guys, I have the headlights out, already been disassembled from a while ago. I had the RGB rings already put on. I got everything all mocked up, glued on. I already took care of all that a while ago. It's pretty much just getting everything, make sure it's fitting and make sure it's working again, cutting all the zip ties off, cleaning out the housings, cleaning the lens to make sure there's no dust or debris in there. Make sure everything's fitting back the way it should. I've already got the interior housings. I had them painted once, but I just didn't like the outcome of it. It wasn't a good look. So I'm going to have these color matched to the car itself. But I'm not going to take care of that today. I'm going to probably take care of that in a couple of days or so. I'll make a video of that as me doing it. I've got a few other pieces, all the little bitty trims and stuff that I have to do for the car. I'm going to go ahead and get all that done in one shot. And then we'll install and assemble all that. I do need to wet sand and buff the car. And I'll probably take care of that before I put all the final trims on. I went ahead and put a couple pieces on just so I can get them on there, make sure everything's fitting right the way it should. But I don't want to put all of it on just yet. I want to save that for final assembly after I get everything all wet sanded and buffed out. So let's see if we can get this going. Alright guys, that's a wrap for today. I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes here. Like I said, I've got everything, as you can see. Got everything prepped and ready so I can start painting. I got to sand a bunch of it down. The bumper here, I've got to take care of some spots right up in this area right here. I've also got to install these pieces. I got to put this right here on the fender trim so that it can complete the wide fender kit that I have for this X5. So all the stuff I have out here, I'm going to be working on that throughout the remaining part of this year and probably into the next year. I've got my work cut out for me. I've got the headlights ready to go. Just got to get the trims painted, and then I can put all that together and I can assemble them all, get them sealed up, and I can install them back on Ruby Red over here. I've pulled Ruby Red out of the shop for now. I needed the space to work so I could put everything out and paint it as I needed to. So all's left now is painting the few pieces of trim, installing everything, wet sand and buff the car, and we're ready to go for a test drive. So I'll see you then.